Hello everyone and welcome back to So What If I Sew, or welcome if you're new. My name's Jess and this is my channel all about sewing, dressmaking and all things stitch related. And you join me in front of the Christmas tree for my last video of 2021, which, goodness me, that's flown by. This year has been a really busy one for me and Adam. Obviously it's been a bit of a tumultuous year for the world. But for us, we moved counties from Surrey to Buckinghamshire. We moved to a whole new flat and everything. We're going to have to move again next year. I got a sewing room, I got my dream job, Adam got a new job. We went back to commuting from working from home for like a year and a half. I got an overlocker, I got another overlocker. It's been all go. And I do feel this year hasn't been the most concentrated in terms of sewing. But what I have sewed this year I've really liked. So the purpose of this video is to kind of do a little bit of a roundup of the year really. So we're going to talk about my 2021 Make 9 and what I managed. We're going to talk about my favourite makes, my not so favourite makes, patterns that have become tried and tested, and then a few bits of kind of what I've learned really about sewing and about myself. And I'm going to round up with my favourite bloggers, vloggers, podcasters for sewing of this year. So grab a cup of tea. This is my beautiful new mug from Adam. It's a Le Creuset one and I love it so much. I never want to stop drinking tea out of it. Grab a cup of tea and join me. So let's kick off by talking about my Make 9. Now next week on 1st of January, we're going to talk about my Make 9 for 2022. But for now, let's review last year's. So there is an image of my last year's Make 9 grid next to me right now. I have managed 5 out of 9, which is not bad actually. I'm happy with that. And the 5 I have made, I'm delighted by. So, or mostly. So what I managed was the Leona dress, and I'm planning another one as well, the Elodie wrap dress from Closet Core, the Patterns for Pirates peg leg leggings. On there it's just generic leggings, but I've put up another image now of all the ones I have managed. So I've also done the Florence blouse from Size Me Sewing and the Tilly and the Buttons Nora. So outstanding are the Tilly and the Buttons Clio Pinafore, which I have the fabric and pattern for, I don't have the hardware and I haven't had the time. So that one's outstanding. True Bias Hudson trackies, I just never got round to because I think I had some lovely fabric for them, but then I wanted something cozier and then I used the fabric I had for something else. So I'm carrying those over, sneak preview, to next year because I do actually still want to make them. And then the Dawn jeans, which I've got the pattern for, I'm just too scared to do. And also I wanted to pick a blazer. And in November this year I was meant to make the Closet Core Jessica blazer. However, I ended up doing Christmas installs and working like 60-hour weeks. So blazer did not happen. However, again, a little bit of a sneak preview, I am going to carry that over because I'm doing it as a collaboration with the Sewers Fabric Shop. So I have the fabric already, I've got the plans, I'm going to blog and vlog about it, it's going to be great. But also I still need a blazer, so I need to do it. It's just, I was so busy and so stressed in November and December that I just didn't have the mental space to do it because it requires thought. So that's definitely going to be coming up. And I feel like I did planning for the makes that I didn't manage this year, and I'm really happy with what I made. So the Leona dress I love, I just need to figure out how to put a bit more boob room in it. Last time I talked about this, people started telling me how to do full bust adjustments. I know how to do a full bust adjustment. The issue is there are no darts on the Leona and it's like a straight triangle piece. So I think what I actually need to do is redraw the top of that pattern to my measurements. It's like to redraw it completely because I do know how to do that because I've done it for bikinis before. So I know how to do it. I just need to sit and actually, this really came to me last night when I went, oh, that's how you do it, you just redraw it. So hopefully I'll be making another one of those this year, and I'm also going to attempt a wrap version, but my Leona dress is here. I love that dress. It's definitely, I think we're going to have a couple of weddings to go to this year and next year, so that's definitely going to make a wedding appearance. Like, I really like it. My Elodie wrap dress has become an absolute tried and tested. I've made 2. I made one in the summer with the lovely long one, and I made a winter version for Christmas, for my Christmas party this year for work. which I love as well. It's so messy because the fabric is slippy as anything, but I love it and I feel like a princess in it. So the LED wrap dress is such a win for me. I've linked, by the way, vlogs for any of my Make 9 below, so you can check out how I actually got on making them. My patterns for Pirate Peg leggings, peg leg leggings, I'm wearing right now. Here they are. Sorry, fluffy socks at the end because it's cold. I love them. I'm going to make at least 2 more pairs of these, if not more, because they're so comfortable. They fit me so well. And also just, I like how high they come up. The high-waisted version is really comfortable and like really flattering, and I love them. And the fact that these cost me, what, a tenner? Because the pattern's free. Whereas, you know, leggings from Sweaty Betty and stuff, which are beautiful, they cost like 80 quid. So, you know, that was a nice feeling. And now I'm better with my overlocker. I'm definitely gonna have another go at making some of these. I made the Florence blouse, which I adore the sleeves on, but I just did something to the neckline. So here it is. It's a gorgeous garment, but I don't wear it as much because the neckline I just don't like. So what I'm thinking of doing is cutting off the neckline completely and fixing it. I think I stretched it while I was sewing. I did something, so it's not right. So I'm gonna go and have another go at fixing that, I think, this year, and doing something to it. But I adore the sleeves and I love it tucked in because the fabric, it's like what is it? It's a challis, I think. I'll link it below because I did do a vlog for it, so I'll put it below. But yeah, I don't know why my brain, Chantilly, that's it. It's a Lady McElroy Chantilly, so that is very exciting. And then I did my Tilly and the Buttons Nora, which I think is probably the make I like least. And I'll talk about this a little later on, but this is very much the year that I sort of discovered that lots of Tilly and the Button patterns just don't work for my body. And the Nora was a particularly frustrating experience because it just doesn't fit. It's 3 sizes too big. But I went off the size charts. So yeah, I found, when I talked about this as well last year, I did get loads of people going, I'm exactly the same. I feel like they work if you're a certain body type, but for me, all of them drown me. The coat is fine because a coat's made to go over other stuff, so that's okay. But the more fitted garments on me are not fitted. So I tried to make, while we're on the topic, I tried to make a pair of Tilly and the Buttons Sapphire trousers for Christmas, and they were just an absolute failure. I hate them so much, and I'm so annoyed that I've used my velvet for something I now hate. But they just don't work on my body at all. And I've seen people like Ellen the Stitches made an amazing pair, and like some people, they just look fabulous on, but I am not one of those people. Hold my hands up. So that's a bit frustrating, but we'll talk about that a little later on. So it's been, I think, my first ever year of doing a Make 9 has actually been a success, because I found, for me, the Make 9 challenge, it doesn't stress me out having it sat there. What it does is, in moments of sort of malaise, or in moments where I'm just a bit like, I don't want to do things, it gives me a project to go, ooh, I could do that. Or, you know, if I'm struggling for inspiration, I can tackle something off my Make 9, or it's nice to have it sat there like a reserve. I don't feel like I have to make everything off it. I like everything on there and would like to make everything, but it doesn't pressure me. However, I know some people it does. Who was it? Somebody's Instagram I read recently was talking about how they found the Make 9 stressful because they felt like it was an unfinished to-do list, and I completely get that. But I think for me, I view it less as a to-do and more as a long-term goals, like a wish list. Nice to do, but not essential. And definitely I've tried to balance my Make 9 again for 2022 between clothes that I love and want to make and projects that will challenge me, which I think is important. So let's run through some of my favourite makes from this year. I've tried to pick 3. I've done 3 categories and I've tried to pick 3 in each, so hopefully we enjoy this. I think this one I struggled between for tried and tested and just favourites, but I think my Elodie wrap dress does have to go in the favourite makes of this year, because it's the first wrap dress I've ever made that has no gape at all. It fits the shape of my body really well. It's comfortable and flattering. Like, I used to find wrap dresses quite stressful because my boob to waist difference is significant. So wrap dresses often look quite strange on me, or they gape really badly, or they sit too low. But the LED really works with my dimensions. And this year I also discovered that a lot of closet core patterns are just made for me. I love them. So you'll definitely see a few more of those appearing next year. My second favourite make is the leggings I'm wearing now. I've put a picture up, but because I am active, I have gone back to ballet this year. I haven't done ballet since I was like 8. Oh no, possibly later actually. I did baby ballet right up to being before boarding school, so 11, 12, and then I haven't since. So I've gone back to adult ballet this year, which I've loved, and these leggings have been a constant companion. They were also quite a good learning curve, but they did take about 20 minutes to make, so I'm definitely going to make a few more pairs. Before the new year, I'm aiming to clear out my activewear drawer and just simplify that down a bit, so I've got pieces that I love wearing again and again. And I'm definitely then going to add in a few pairs of these, I think. They're so comfy. I think one of my makes that surprised me this year as to how much I love it is this Vogue jumpsuit, which again I've linked below, but I love it. It's beautiful. It makes me feel like a princess. I feel like I'm wearing a ball gown, but I'm wearing trousers and have pockets as well, and it's fantastic. So I am going to be making another one of those, as I talked about in a recent video. I just love it so much, and I just feel amazing in it. So I definitely need to find, one of my projects for 2022 is I need to go to something I can wear that to. There's got to be something I can wear that to. So we need to find a way. I want to get photos of it in the wild. I want to wear it out. I want to enjoy having pockets and looking beautiful. So it was a real success. And I think what I loved about it most was that the pattern came through the door when I was in a moment of very low inspiration and low energy, and I was tired and done and I just didn't want to sew. And then I saw that pattern and went, oh my god, and it was on the machine in like hours. Literally, it came at lunchtime and after work I started, and then I spent 3 days making it after work, and it was almost feverish the amount I wanted to make it, and it really reignited my passion for sewing when I was tired. So it's a very sentimental make for me as well. As always, there are patterns you're not as keen on, and that's normal. And I thought it was important to include that in here to, you know, fit with my normal rhetoric of you don't have to like everything you make. Say it with me. It's impossible. Stop pressuring yourself to like everything. You're not going to. Some of it won't fit. Some of it will look beautiful on other people and you'll hate it on you. Some of it you'll mess up and they'll just make you annoyed to wear. It's okay. It happens. In a shop you can try it on. When you sew, you don't know until you're done. So if you're listening to this or watching this, give yourself a bit of slack. This is me giving you permission to do that. So for me, there's 3 makes on here. Firstly, my Tilly and the Buttons Nora, because it's just huge and it makes me just feel like, I don't know, I've worn it into hospital a few times and it's quite good for that when I'm like sore and need to be wearing something huge, but it doesn't make me feel good. And not that there's anything wrong with it, but it makes me feel strange. I don't know, I look in the mirror and I just feel like a bit of a blob. I don't like it. I think it's because it's not my style, and that is something that you cannot underestimate. I have seen people look incredible. People of all shapes, sizes, sewing abilities and everything look fantastic in the Tilly and the Buttons Nora. But I am not one of those people. I feel like maybe if I could make it a couple of sizes smaller, I might like it, but also I've got no impetus to do that now because my first experience making it wasn't great. So it's definitely like, it's up there and I can see why other people like it as a pattern, I absolutely can. But on me, it just doesn't make me feel good. And at the end of the day, clothes should make you feel good. So for me, unfortunately, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I don't know whether I should keep it in the back of the cupboard just for, you know, if for a rainy day, or if I should just send it to charity or do something or cut it up for something. I don't know, I haven't decided, but yeah, it's definitely not my favourite. On that list as well is the Friday Pattern Company Davenport. I just hated it. I love it so much. Again, it's one I've wanted to make for ages, and I don't know if, well, I did a vlog about this because I made it, and then just went, oh god, I feel terrible in it. And lots of people were like, oh, you look beautiful. I was like, thank you, but I hated it. And I think it was too big. I went off the wrong size chart really. Like I went off mine, but I should have gone a size or two smaller. I used quite a structured fabric when it would have benefited from a drapier fabric. And I also think on someone of my height and dimensions, it made me look a little bit like I was a refugee from the cast of Little Women, which I wasn't a huge fan of. So the thing is, technically my Davenport's very good, but I just think I look terrible in it. What I am going to do though is I think my friend Louisa would look incredible in it. So I thought I might drop her a message and be like, would you like this dress? Because I just think she would look really nice in it. She's very willowy and slender, but very tall, and I think she'd look really beautiful in it. But obviously I'll ask her if she wants it, because I do want it to go to a good home, because I'm very proud of the techniques, like the way I've made it. It's just not very me. And the final one on that list is one I'm desperate to like, but I don't wear, which is the Nina Lee Carnaby dress. And I think I made two mistakes here. Firstly, I made it in linen because I wanted to try making stuff in linen. I cannot bear linen on my skin, I've discovered. Linen makes me feel like really itchy and stiff, and I don't like it. Also, I made it in a light fabric and it's made me way too nervous about like sweat patches and things, and I don't feel comfortable wearing it. I would make another one though, in like black or a dark fabric, and probably not in linen. I'd make it in something else a bit softer. But yeah, that was a moment where I was like, oh, I really wanted to like this. Also, I massively messed up the zip on the back. It's awful. And even though people say it looks fine, I know it's there and it annoys me. But it is like, it's a lovely dress and I love the pattern and the pocket size. Oh my God, I love the pocket size. But I think I would make it again, just differently. And I think that's the other thing to remember, is that sometimes you will make a wearable toile and love it more than what you were going to do. And sometimes you will make the original and realise that was a toile because, you know, whatever, the fabrics, the pattern, whatever didn't work for you. And that can be very, very frustrating when it happens that way around. Not enough to make me want to do toiles though, because who has time? But yeah, I think sometimes you would only need to change one little thing to make yourself love it. But it's having the emotional energy to go back and do that, because it's so frustrating to spend, you know, hours on something and then hate it. So we'll revisit that, but possibly not until like 2023. Or if I'm desperate for a work dress, I'll buy some black fabric and just whip one up quickly, because it is a very easy pattern. So those are sort of my three I'm not as keen of. However, I have also this year got 3 tried and tested patterns that I adore. Number 1, Nina Lee Portobello trousers. I am in love, they are fantastic. I have made a long pair, like a 7/8 cropped pair, definitely more in my future. I love them. They work on my body, the pockets are a great size. I love the fact they go with pretty much everything in my wardrobe. I can wear them with heels or flats. I love them. They have become my proper workhorse trousers, and they're great as well because you can make them look very smart, but they are very comfortable. And doing a job like mine, where I'm very active but need to look nice at the same time, they are just an absolute dream. So they are like, I'm definitely gonna make more. I know it's gonna happen. So it's just a question of when and what fabric. Tried and tested 2 for me this year is the Mylen sweatshirt from Closet Core. I love it. I love it so much. I've made 3, and I love them. I just think they are marvellous. I've put photos of them here. And it's just a nice pattern for my body. Again, I like the slightly cropped nature of it. I also like that they were my first go kind of using ribbing, and I'm quite happy with what I've done there. And it's just, I like a pattern I can just throw on. And that is what I would say about the red one and the black one particularly. I just chuck them on for going to ballet and things. It's fabulous. And I definitely see probably at least one more in my future. I love them. So that's definitely, if you've not tried it, I really recommend it as a loungewear pattern. What I think I'm going to do is make another one and a pair of Hudson trackies and make them matching, like in the same fabric. And then, I mean, more win. But I quite like a matching loungewear set, but I've never made one and I've never found one I like to buy. So maybe I'll do that this year. Maybe that's what I'll do. The other one that has ended up on my tried and tested, I won't say too much because I've already talked about it, is the Elodie. I know that if I'm going to an event and I need to make something last minute, I can make an Elodie in about 2 days. I'll look beautiful in it, and it will be comfortable and all of me fits in it. What a win. I feel like sometimes you need a tried and tested pattern for fancy occasions as well as for like loungewear and stuff, because sometimes if you want to whip yourself up a dress but you don't want, you know, you want to use expensive fabric, or you don't want the stress of it not fitting when you're done, or you don't have time to toile it or do adjustments, then you need like one pattern in your back pocket that you know will make something beautiful, and for me that is definitely the Elodie. So what have I learned? I'm going to keep this fairly short because this is a very chatty vlog, so lots of what I've learned you're hearing. But I think there's two things. Firstly, the base pattern block that a pattern designer uses matters. It matters a lot. And it means that there's certain pattern designers I've learnt this year that I adore their patterns, but I either would need to make a lot of effort to make them fit my body, or they just don't fit my body shape. For example, Tilly and the Buttons. Beautiful patterns, great for beginner sewers, completely agree, they're not for me. And they don't work for my body. And I'm still gonna have a go at the Clio Pinafore actually, because I think that, like the coat, because it's designed to go over things, I could probably get away with it. So I'm gonna have a go, might as well, I've got the fabric. But I would say, like, whenever the new patterns for anything come out, like the Lotta works, but that's because I can adjust the elastic basically to make it fit my body. But they're just, the block is wrong for me. And it's the same Friday Pattern Company. There is a huge amount of ease in those patterns, or generally I've found. So it's sort of, it's hard. There's some pattern designers I'm like, I know this is going to be so much effort to make it fit me, and sometimes you've got that effort, sometimes you've got that energy, and sometimes you don't, and that's fine. I think the dispiriting moment was when I was like, oh, well, maybe it's me, maybe I'm the problem. And then I found that I fit almost everything perfectly from Closet Core and was like, yay, that works for me. But for me, Friday Pattern Company and Tilly and the Buttons are two that I found that just, it is more effort than others to fit my body into those patterns. And sewing is a hobby, and sewing is something I like doing. So if I don't want to do that, that's fine. If I want to pick a pattern that I know will fit me better, great, that's something I'm going to do. Because at the end of the day, I shouldn't have to suffer through making something. That's not the point of my hobby. That's not why I do what I do. So that's a big learning curve this year, is just kind of going, you know what, maybe that base pattern block doesn't work for my body, and that's okay. And lesson 2 was to pick your sizing based on both the size bracket and the finished garment measurements. You have to do both. For example, my beautiful Vogue jumpsuit, picked my size based on the size brackets because I couldn't find the finished garment measurements. I have now learnt they're actually on the pattern pieces, which is so annoying. Who puts them, sorry, side note, who puts the finished garment measurements on the actual piece? Who does that? Why would you look there? Because sorry, this is my rant topic of the year. It's really annoying. But for example, for that, because I picked my size based on the size brackets, I had to take 4 inches out of the back when I finished it. I was putting the zip in and went, oh my God. So I literally took like 2 inches each side out of the back to make it fit, which I need to remember to do next time actually. But yeah, for example, the Davenport, I picked it based on my sizing, not on the finished garment measurements. I did the same with a lot of the Tilly and the Buttons ones. You need to look at both. And that's very much my big learning curve of this year. It's also made me a bit panicky picking sizes, because I'm like, oh, how much ease do I actually need? How much ease are they giving me? So that's definitely something that I want to learn more about, and I want to learn more about pattern drafting so I understand ease and finished garment measurements a bit more. But yeah, that's been my sewing learning curve this year. And my third one actually is that overlockers really aren't as scary as everyone thinks. I'm going to put my hand out there and say I've rethreaded my overlocker constantly. It's fine. A lot of people out there kind of go, oh, I'm dreading doing it, or oh, you know, it's hideous to do. It's not. It's fine. I mean, I will say it depends on the model you've got as to how easy the designer has made it. But don't be scared. If you have an overlocker, just dive in. Just start using it. Thread it, have a go. Nothing that bad will go wrong. You'll be fine. But yeah, I don't know, I started the year going, oh God, I'm so scared of my overlocker. There's no point, just have a go, it's fine. It'll be a lot louder and a lot quicker than you think it's going to be. so be prepared for that. But otherwise, just have a batch of scrap fabric, keep rethreading it. The way you get scared of threading it is by not doing it. And then you go, oh God, how do I do it? Just rethread it as often as you want, you know, just keep doing it, keep having a go. And that's definitely how I became a lot more friendly with my overlocker. As you guys know, I have a new overlocker because I had an issue with my old one, and the Singer outlet sent me a brand new fancy version of my old one, which is nice. And for that I have nicknamed it, just to keep you guys in the loop, I nicknamed it Schoenberg. So for any classical music enthusiasts out there, I have nicknamed it Schoenberg, who's a composer I hate actually, because it's technically very, very proficient, but that overlocker makes one hell of a racket, so that's my name. Please, if you are classically trained, enjoy that joke. It makes me chuckle every time I look at it, so clearly a good name. So that's kind of what I've learned, I think, about sewing this year. I've also learned 2 things about myself. Firstly, having too much fabric stresses me out. So I'm going to do a de-stash, and then I just need to think consciously about what I'm buying, because it does, I feel overwhelmed and then I don't know what to make, and I feel I just can't deal with it. So I need to trim down my fabric stash, but everything in it I want to love. So that's going to be a bit of a project. Lesson 2 is that going back to commuting is challenging when you're trying to sew and do your hobby and enjoy yourself. However, I do think I need to learn to structure my time better. I used to be really good at this when I was commuting every day. I used to be really good at kind of going, having dinner and then going, right, I have now time in the evening to do things. Whereas at the moment, I feel like because I went from working from home to suddenly working in the office and running events and going a mile a minute, I don't feel like I've got a good work-life balance at the moment. So that's something I'm going to work on going into this year, is where can I reasonably fit sewing into my week? Where works for me? Is it a night a week where I sew? Is it little bits per day? Is it sewing when I'm working from home? I don't know yet, and I'm going to try some stuff and see how it works out. But I need to find somewhere for my hobby to go that makes me happy and that gives me the stress relieving benefits whilst not making me stress that, oh God, I've got no time to do anything. You know, I need to be a bit more honest with myself and what I can achieve. Like, I've sewn so much less this year than, like, from September to December, for example, than the same period last year. But that's because of the hours I've been working, and that's part of my job. So I think I'm trying to get away from the mindset of, oh, we'll just get through this period, because that's not how it works. I work in events. That's my life. That's how it should be. The last 2 years have been basically an aberration of what my normal job is. So what I need to think about is, this is my job. How can I, in a long-term sense, integrate my hobbies and my job and everything with a healthy work-life balance, and how can I fit them together in a way that works for me? So onto my final bit of the video, which is a nice little roundup of a few creators that I am loving. Obviously there are so many of you who are absolutely fabulous, and I'm definitely gonna make sure, like, I'm quite good for watching things and then I'm really bad for commenting. So if you suddenly get a flurry of comments, it's because I've suddenly gone, I need to go and do that. I do have a list of videos that I'm like, oh, I love that. So I will be giving out some love. But there are a few people. So for example, my favourite new sewing podcast. I'm not great with sewing podcasts because I don't know. I'm not as interested as I am. But that could just be because I think everyone has a podcast preference and I'm not much of a podcast person more generally. There's like only one podcast I actually listen to, which is the You're Dead to Me history podcast by Greg Jenner, which if you've not listened to, I love. But my favourite new sewing podcast is The Tipsy Sewists, which is Elle and Hazel. I'll link them both below, and I just really enjoy them. Like, it's just good fun. And I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like it's a very chill, honest, relaxed vibe, and I like that. I think it's nice as well to have a podcast from people who are younger in the sewing community, which is lovely. It's nice to hear as well from people who maybe haven't been sewing as long as others, or it's just nice, you feel like you're sat having a drink with your mates and chatting about sewing, which I really enjoy. So if you've not listened, there's a couple of episodes out, which are all, I believe, on all your favourite podcast apps. I've linked their Instagrams as well below so you can check them out, and I know that I will enjoy just listening to them. I've also met them both in person and they are just lovely. That is what they're like when you're listening, so enjoy. If you need a little podcast to get you through Christmas and New Year, if you're looking for a new one, absolutely recommend The Tipsy Sewists. A couple of fabulous vloggers I found this year. So Amelia, I love. Again, because I find her a very honest, down-to-earth vlogger, and I really enjoy her content. The same is Vicky Sews. I think I love what she makes, and I love the sort of, again, it's the atmosphere. It's that atmosphere of somebody who takes the time for their sewing but also has a normal life, and that makes me happy, because you just go, yes, I can empathise with you. You're a real person who is trying to fit sewing into a busy life, and I like that a lot. So definitely check out those two. The final two on my list are the Yorkshire Sew Girl. Her video is just such a joy, and I love her thumbnails. I love them so much. She feels like, I used to know a wonderful nurse who was very similar to her, and she just makes you smile. Like, watching Ruan could talk about literally anything and it would just make me laugh and make me smile. And she's who I listen to if I'm having a really bad day. She is fabulous. And I love So Do It. Emma is the other person, who is a fellow Scot, love to see it. But again, Emma is great at, she's not afraid to call out when things aren't necessarily as they should be, which I really respect. And I just really enjoy hearing her point of view and hearing her thoughts. I like the honesty, I like the flair, and I like to see real people sewing. So that's my little roundup. 2021 has been a challenging year, but it's been a good year, and lots has changed for the better. So 2022 I'm viewing as a consolidation year. A year that I can get some balance and look for a good work-life split and enjoy the things I enjoy and not worry about doing the things I enjoy and just do them. So I hope this has been, it's way longer than I meant it to be actually, goodness me. But I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've had a nice time catching up with me in my last video of 2021. My Make 9 roundup for 2022 of what I'm going to be making next year and some plans will be coming out this weekend, New Year's Day, I think. I think that's the plan anyway. So I hope you enjoy that as well, and have a lovely new year, and I hope you all have a fabulous Christmas. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.